Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 years to Slumdog Millionaire, for which, of course, you won 2 Oscars, and what a great moment that was for us. The Oscars are widely considered as the highest achievement, the highest honor in film. Did it change your life in any way? Your life, your career?
A lot. It forced me to push myself higher. Like I meant, like not just a composer, but as a producer, as a probably a writer, to give platforms to musical kind of ideas and know about many things about cameras and this and that, because once you're at the top of the line,
Correct.
you need to understand if somebody ditches and goes, you know what to do, otherwise you'll be like, oh, I'm here.
Right.
So that happened in the process, around 10 years of building my own studio. We have a shooting sound stage, and we have a post-production facility and all that stuff. So we have support system. And yeah, so we're having fun and going back to Tamil Nadu doing stuff. So you have a hardcore fans happy that, oh, he's our person kind of thing. So
it was very important for you to continue working in your country even after the Oscar, wasn't it? Because very often one sees that that becomes the launching pad for an international career. Of course, you have worked on international projects since, and even before, actually. But it was very important for you to remain rooted?
yeah, I think music, art, all these things doesn't matter where you do, because in the future it will be the quality of work which dictates, not where you did it.
Right.
It could be Tamil film or Telugu film or Hindi film. It doesn't matter for me, and that's what I believe. I don't believe that doing something in Hollywood is too big and
Sure.
doing a Tamil song is small. Or no way. For me, a song is a song. If there's magic in it, it'll carry weight. And so I wanted to be involved in more non-Indian kind of projects in Hollywood, and I did a few.
Right.
I learned a lot how the big studios work and how musicals work, how they do workshops and how they make it a success.
Yeah.
So it's all the process. I think, in a way, I think people have tried here but failed because they eliminate one step or there are lots of checks and balances there.
Right.
And that was good to learn. And not just the art, but how to present it, how
Right.
to make it the biggest, how to be foolproof.
It's also roughly 20 years since Dil Se, which is easily one of your most popular and one of your finest albums. In fact, it's one of those albums where it's hard to pick one favorite song because every song is just so incredible, whether it's Chaiya Chaiya, whether it's Satrangi Re, whether it's Jia Jale, or the title song, which is my personal favorite. What are your memories of making that album?
My memory was, I just finished doing my album, Vande Mataram, and then Mani came to me and said, I'm doing a movie. And I said, what's the story? No, there's no story. I won't tell you all that. Just make 5 songs for me. And one of the songs is about 7 stages of love. I said, wow, that's fascinating. And so I did Satarangiri, all the stuff. And then, as usual, I think there was a marriage song, and then he was supposed to do Punjabi, and I said, can it be Malayalam? Because Malayalam has this percussive things. Yeah, fine, I'll change the family to Malayalam family. So that is the vibe which, the intimacy of art, like 2 people working together,
Right.
and being understanding and trusting each other. I think that creates great work. I feel. Trust is the word, magic word.
Is it fair to say that Chaiya Chaiya is the one that really became the anthem? It's the one that, in a sense, put you on a map. I remember I'll tell you what my memory of Chaiya Chaiya is. Not so much the song in the film, but I remember coming a few years later to opening night of Bombay Dreams in London, and I remember being in that hall and watching that English audience, a lot of whom were English people, just going crazy, just watching the energy of that song, because also it was choreographed beautifully with the moving platforms and the train. But that
Yeah, a
song,
lot of magic. I think my association with Sukhwinder Singh, because I was such a crazy fan of Nusrat Saab, Punjabi lyrics and the way he was singing Sindhi, Punjabi,
Right.
and me coming from a Tamil Nadu, like for the first time got fascinated by sound of a language, and I called my friend Brij Bhushan. I said, I need a Punjabi lyricist. So comes Sukhwinder,
Right.
and he's a singer also.
Yeah.
Then I used him for Takshak, and then we were vibing. I said, like, do you know any more Sufi songs? So he said, I know Baba Bulesh's, this,
Yeah.
line, and we started jamming, and then I thought I'll use it for It was called Thaya Thaya first. Thought I'll use it for Vande Mataram album. Then I said, no, there's got enough good songs already.
Right.
So it was lying low. Then Mani came and said, I need a song. I said, I have a song, but we should not use it. And I played it to him, and he said, this seems to be correct. Then Gulzar Saab came with Chaya Chaya, so Thaya Thaya. So a combination of these things together, Sukandar's voice and the lyrics and something magic. And then the way he picturized, of course. Epic.
Yeah.
The whole world is now adoring the way Shah Rukh has danced and
True.
Malika.
You have the patience for another musical, the way you did for Andrew Lloyd Webber? I mean, the time and the investment of everything that's required.
Yes, maybe. Maybe I think after, it's very exhausting.
Yeah.
Doing a musical is not just doing songs. You have to rewrite constantly.
Correct.
To fit how the story moves and whether it works. And so there's constant tweaking. Musical theatre is not like movies where you just do a song and then you're done
it's done,
with it.
Right.
There's probably rewrites, 15, 16 times rewrites.
You pretty much moved to London for that whole year or so, didn't you?
For me also, it's fascinated. Being an introvert and going to stage and teaching all these people, I was like afraid of this.
The most latest work, of course, is the two songs in Sanju, Ruby Ruby and Mujhe Chand. They both have a beautiful sort of 80s vibe. It's a nice throwback to the 80s. Was that what drew you to it?
The reason I did that was because Mr. Vidura Chopra, whenever you see me, I said we had to work together. And in very odd times, like on top of a London flight, and then in front of Tim Cook, in Shah Rukh's house, and Virat Kohli's wedding. So all this stuff, and then he suddenly called up, said, before we fade away, we should work together. And so he was on speakerphone, and I said, yeah, I'm coming. Let's see what happens. There's so much of love. And so I went there, and they said, these are the things. I said, usually I never do that. But I'm at a place where I'm a producer, I've got a film company, I'm written a script, and I don't have to be insecure about anything.
Right.
I said, fine, let's do it.
But you're doing just two songs in an
and
album.
also I'm a learner, so I was also fascinated by Rajuji and both of them working together, making this blockbuster masterpieces. And I said, I have to see how these guys work.
Right.
And more about the fascination of how they work, how they do their movies, and just as a fan.
The big new project, of course, is the Amazon series Harmony that you're doing. It's a really unique, from what one hears, it's a really unique series where you're tracking and you're really traveling across India, searching for the origin of specific sounds, with the idea being to salvage instruments that may be dying or musicians whose skills may be vanishing. What was your experience traveling all over India? Did you discover that did you learn more than you already knew?
You only see an artist surface level. You see a Veena player or you see a folk artist. Okay, that's like what comes on Doordarshan about Northeast or about an ancient instrument. But then I was thinking, what can we do today with this? And so I was very fascinated by the idea how Kavitalya's iconic company, started by Balachandra sir, is investing on something like this. And Amazon, and there's no, and the good thing about this prime time series is there's viewership and people can watch it anytime. There's great quality, there's 5.1 and 4K quality, and so I was fascinated by how people can watch. So how do we take these instruments and bring it to today's context, was my thing. And I didn't have a clue. So I met them, I was just talking to them. I'm not very good at talking, so you know that. So each time I would have one of my instruments and we will be jamming. And then I found a way, like what if we give them a context, what people have never heard before. A little bit. So, it can be used like this. And it can sound like this. And a very small way. So.
It's interesting and it's so poetic that it should be someone like you who's involved with this kind of project, because when you sort of burst onto the scene in the 90s, you were seen as this modern musician. You're someone who brought these new sounds, electronic sounds. Exactly. Is this your way of sort of giving back then?
I was always fascinated with players and instruments. Not that, because I had the power, I would learned it much before than everybody. I started in '84 learning about MIDI and music computing and all this stuff. So for me it was to bring and find to control the technology to serve us, not vice versa.
Right.
And what can we do, like which Hans Zimmer also does. He takes modern, I mean, ancient instruments delivers in a modern way. And also because I do varied kind of works, which is songwriting and background scores and shows and everything. So the inspiration is, you need constant inspiration. You need to reinvent. You need to, it's not about other people. First, we have to feel good when we're performing or composing.
Right.
And so all these discoveries help me a great deal.
You know, these musicians whose skills and whose music is perhaps runs the fear of vanishing. What was the experience meeting them, and was there a sense of great regret, you know, for them that what they do and that these beautiful cultural instruments are, there is no space for them?
I love the conviction that they're sticking on to the tradition. That's their identity. And whether it's Bahauddin Dagar, where he talks a lot about his father, and something he told me was great, because I try to follow the same thing. He said, I'm not, his father told him, like, you're not in a competition. You don't need to, you know, expose yourself. You did it for the art. You just play so that it remains as is. And I love that, because not today is like, oh, let me put a YouTube video, let me expose this, let me go, let me tag these people. And all this happens, and suddenly one person is just like in the outskirts of Mumbai doing his thing. That is very poetic. And I felt that is probably a character of true art. And sometimes, you know, we all feel like something's internal, it's not, doesn't want to get exposed.
Right.
Let it be private.
Sure.
Like I do a lot of songs on, like, you know, spiritual songs with my spiritual teacher, which nobody's heard. It's just there.
Was it interesting jamming with them? Was, you know, them on their instruments?
Well,
was it unique?
My classical knowledge is different from other people. I didn't learn strict classical rules, but the aura of classical music always intrigued me. So I'll always feel jealous of somebody else, like Mandolin Srinivas, you know, the way you would play, you know, on mandolin.
Yeah.
I used to feel like I can't do that on the keyboard, and then comes an instrument called the continuum, and which says that you can now. And so I was trying to jam with him on the continuum with the patch.
Right.
And we were jamming on Charukesi, and Charukesi is a very sad rag, but very intriguing, makes you, you know, go into this melancholic mode. And so things which you can't do in movies, explode, and I had a ball.
Do you feel richer from the experience yourself?
I feel really, really good that, you know, there's a whole team to take care of everything which I would worry about.
Yeah.
And so I can do my part. And that is the most secure thing. I think the trust and security is very, very important, that it's going to be good and we're going to make it with pride, not just like another content is a bad word for me.
Right.
For me, this is a product of love. And then I think people will definitely resonate with it.
You know, it's interesting because it's going to be an Amazon original series, and the landscape has changed so much in the last few years. You've been ahead of the curve, actually. You know, how do you view the current landscape? You know, films and television is one thing, but really it seems like the future is streaming.
Yes, and in a way, there is no knife on your neck or a gun on your head saying that, oh, this is box office. This.
Right.
So people are intrigued by knowledge, comes in a very different way, and entertainment comes in a very different way. It doesn't have to be story and formulaic anymore. This for the B and C, this for the front benches, back benches, nothing. As long as it's rich and it's giving back something, and yeah, you kind of influence people with the beauty of.
When your music, some of your best Indian tunes are used in Hollywood films, you know, in Deadpool 2, there was Yun Hi Chala Chala recently. Lion had, of course, Urvashi Urvashi. Inside Man had Chaya Chaya, and there have been many in between. It really points to the fact that the world is a lot more connected today. That music sort of bridges gaps, and, you know, the culture and language, those kind of gaps are being bridged. Do you believe that? And
yeah, I think more should happen. Just, the convenience, because the whole capital of entertainment is, in a way, Hollywood.
Right.
They have the distribution network, they have the power to influence, so they have a greater responsibility. And the more they do all these, I think the better for humanity. Ultimately, I think we have to push humans into the next not bring self-destruction, which is happening now.
Right.
And so responsible people have to educate people.
What's happening with the films that you're producing? 99 Songs is now ready, close to
So 99
inching
Songs,
towards.
after 6 years,
Right.
it's ready. And we're doing the final cut, and we're just crunching it a bit more. I want it to be really precise.
Well, why did it take so long?
Because it's you watch it, and then
Okay.
I should not say much about it.
Okay.
I feel like we are moving into a good direction where we could give something back to the
Because I
young.
remember talking to you about it over the years now, no?
Yes, because it's not about just one movie. It's
Sure.
setting up a whole foundation of our YM,
Right.
learning many things and not going wrong in the first thing. We'll try our best. People
Yeah.
may throw it on our face, but
Sure.
we'll try our best. And so the next one is called Le Mask, which got Scent, which is 3D stereoscopic virtual reality. And so that's also getting ready. This post-production is taking quite a lot of time.
Virtual reality, wow.
Yeah, so it'll be an installation in key places, probably Los Angeles and London and India.
Does
Yeah.
India have the facilities? I mean, is
Yeah,
that
so it's not like you can't release it in the theater. You have
Correct.
to have the
Specific venues.
HMDs, and luckily for us, the HMDs are much better, like 4 times the quality now, more than what it was.
right?
So now the same movie looks probably twice, thrice better, and it's an advantage. So
It sounds fascinating. I mean, have you been enjoying this whole? Are you closely involved?
Unbelievable. Because
Yeah.
I've been watching I probably watched the trailer alone, which
Okay.
is 4-minute prelude, 400 times and still don't get bored.
Wow.
And not many times you can.
So is it narrative? Is it
So it's a narrative, but written for virtual reality, 360. And so because there are other senses in it, there's also a robotic chair which gives you a biological, like a therapeutic.
nice?
Yeah, so all these things together creates a great impact. And we got Nora Arnezida, who's a French actress. And it's a musical. We're going to release a music video soon.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When is this likely to? I mean, these kind of projects, of course, take their time because of the work involved. But how soon do you see this happening?
Maybe another 5 months we'll have everything stitched.
Okay. The other big one here, of course, is 2.0, right?
Yeah.
That's now the funny thing is that one you'll actually release the music and then the film. So this is the one time that it's not A.R. Rahman's music that's held up a film's release. No?
Thank you. Thank you
That's
for
a
being nasty.
That's a constant. No, I mean it in the best way because you take your time on on giving the best music in the end. But what can one expect? I mean, whenever it comes.
I personally.
Also because the expectations are so high with anything that Shankar and you do together.
Yeah, I think what's good about Shankar is this product is he's the right person. Anybody will sort of broken by now. He's just like
Sure.
he's
just held on,
Like an
yeah.
Iron Man held on to that and said, no, I want compromise. I want this quality. It's on 3D, and I just watched one song how he did, no CG on it,
Right.
and mind blowing.
Oh wow.
And I said, only this guy can do this. And there's a whole climax scene which is incredible. And for an Indian to think like that, I feel like we're really blessed to have somebody like that. And of course, we have Superstar and we have Akshay Ji,
Yeah.
which is really, really fascinating.
Adds to it, yeah. Finally, Yaar, where is your curiosity taking you next? What excites you when you wake up every morning? What is the new challenge that you look forward to? Are there still filmmakers that one wants to work with? Are there formats that one wants to do? What's the mood like?
The mood is like to do more parenting,
Sure.
shape up my kids, take them to courses abroad.
Right.
And I think it's the right time too. I don't want to miss the bus.
Yeah.
They're complaining my father never did anything to me, so I'll go back to that because my movies are complete a bit.
Sure.
And post-production is happening, I can do that. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward. Thank you so much.
Yeah.